Spartan rules for life. 2 million views. The philosophy of Sparta. Let's see. Not bad though. This guy has 136k subscribers and 2 million views on this shit. So that's something, alright. Alright. The Spartan warrior never asks how many of the enemy there are, but only asks where they are. The requirements to become a Spartan warrior: tough as nails, crippling childhood, ability to develop harrowing comeback statements. As a Spartan, return with your shield or on it, but never without it. To return with your shield was to be victorious in life. To return on your shield was to be victorious in death. But to return without your shield meant you lost the battle, but were still alive. This was often assumed to mean that they were cowards who lost their shields and fled from combat to save their own lives. Such men are not worthy to call themselves Spartans and will never be considered or respected as such again. And so to the women of Sparta, they have lost their sons, as no true son of Sparta would return without their shield from a victorious battlefield. When you fall down, you don't think of getting up, you just get up. Dear friends, just a small observation, correction if allowed. The answer of Leonidas, king of Sparta, it was Leonidas, at Xerxes, king of Persian Empire, in Thermopylae was in fact Molonlave, in Hellenic grammar. Okay. That's almost Russian, to be honest. The exact meaning of these words in Hellenic Greek language is not only come and take them, but come and take them if you dare. Thank you. Okay. Wow. Thank you for that enlightenment, K. Vlasis. Come and take them. Hardest line you could possibly say in that situation. Alright. Let's see. Rule of life. Philosophy of Sparta.
Spartans! What is your profession?
As Philip II of Macedon was conquering Greek cities-states left and right, Sparta was left alone. Philip had achieved a crushing victory and Sparta was relatively weak and without walls. Philip sent a message to the Spartans saying, "If I invade Laconia, you will be destroyed, never to rise again." The Spartans replied with one word, "If." Oh, God.
As Philip II of Macedon was conquering Greek city-states left and right, Sparta was left alone. Philip had achieved a crushing victory, and Sparta was relatively weak and without walls. Philip sent a message to the Spartans saying, "If I invade Laconia, you will be destroyed, never to rise again." The Spartans replied with one word, "If." When someone asked why they visited disgrace upon those among them who lost their shields, but did not do the same thing to those who lost their helmets or their breastplates, the Spartan king Demaratus is said to have replied, "Because the latter they put on for their own protection, but the shield for the common good of the whole line."
Very self-sacrificial of them. You would not find a man this day and age to be that self-sacrificial. Like, well, I mean, you can, but I'm saying, like, almost no man is that self-sacrificial for anyone else, really. Maybe their kids, but yeah, and their wife.
Feel no fear before the multitude of men. Do not run in panic. But let each man bear his shield straight towards the four fighters, regarding his own life as hateful, and holding the dark spirits of death as dear as the radiance of the sun.
Okay.
Xerxes wrote to him, "It is possible for you, not by fighting against God, but by ranging yourself to my side, to be the sole ruler of Greece." But he wrote in reply, "If you had any knowledge of the noble things in life, you would refrain from coveting others' possessions. But for me to die for Greece, is better than to be the sole ruler over the people of my race. When Xerxes wrote again, hand over your arms, he wrote in reply,
Come and take
come
them.
and take them. Herodotus reports that just before the Battle of Thermopylae, a Spartan warrior named Dieneces was told that the Persian archers could blank out the sun with their arrows. He replied, good, then we shall have our battle in the shade.
It's like, this is the type of person who, like, you can't depress. It's like, depression? Good. Good. I want to fight depression on my own terms. It's like, it hurts? Good. Means I can still do something.
It was natural for Spartan women to think and speak as Gorgo, the wife of Leonidas, is said to have done. When some foreign lady, as it would seem, told her that the women of Lacedaemon were the only women of the world who could rule men. With good reason, she said, for we are the only women who bring forth men.
Ooh, bro. It was natural for Spartan women to think and speak as Gorgo, the wife of Leonidas, is said to have done when some foreign lady, as it would seem, told her that the women of Lacedaemon were the only women of the world who could rule men. With good reason, she said, for we are the only women who bring forth men. Like, what they're ruling is not men. If they can rule them, they're not men. But in order for a man to be man, he wants to protect and be there for his woman. Something like that, right? So, respect.
An old man wandering around the Olympic Games looking for a seat was jeered at by the crowd until he reached the seat of the Spartans, whereupon every Spartan younger than him, and some that were older, stood up and offered him their seat. The crowd applauded, and the old man turned to them with a sigh, saying, all Greeks know what is right, but only the Spartans do it.
True. True. This is actually very true right now as well. Everyone know what you should do. It doesn't mean you're going to do it. Right? It takes a lot of discipline and basically discipline, really, to like do the stuff you should do, that you know you should do, and not just knowing them. Knowing is like not even half the battle. I'd say it's like 10%.
Let a man learn how to fight by first daring to perform mighty deeds. Not where the missiles won't reach if he is armed with a shield, but getting in close where the fighting is hand to hand, inflicting a wound with his long spear or sword, taking the enemy's life, with his foot planted alongside a foot, and his shield pressed against shield, and his crest up against crest, and his helm against helm, and his breast against breast, embroiled in the action. Let him fight man to man, holding secure in his grasp haft of his sword or spear.
Okay. Get down and dirty, basically.
Rise up, warriors. Take your stand at one another's sides. Our feet set wide and rooted like oaks in the ground. Learn to love death's inky black shadow as much as you love the light of dawn. Here is courage, mankind's finest possession. Here is the noblest prize that a young man can endeavor to win. The Spartans are the equal of any men when they fight as individuals. Fighting together as a collective, they surpass all other men. Bias, caught in an ambush by Iphicrates, the Athenian general, and asked by his soldiers what was to be done, said, "What else except for you to save your lives, and for me to die fighting?"
Simple, straightforward. That's what it is.
The walls of Sparta were its young men, and its borders the points of their spears. In answer to the man who sought to know why the Spartans used short daggers in war, Antalcidas said, "Because we fight close to the enemy."
Alright.
For the Spartans, it wasn't walls or magnificent public buildings that made a city. It was their own ideas. In essence, Sparta was a city of the head and the heart, and it existed in its purest form in the disciplined march of the hoplite phalanx on their way to war.
Huh. So you always die at home?
In Sparta, mothers were said to say to their sons, "As a warrior of Sparta, come back with your shield, or on it."
Yeah.
Asked what was the greatest benefit Lycurgus conferred on his countrymen, King Agesilaus replied, "Contempt of pleasure."
Interesting. Wait, say it again? It's the greatest benefit conferred on his countrymen. Greatest benefit. Contempt of pleasure is the greatest benefit. Huh. Sounds like a really annoying way to
Some of
live.
the citizens who desired to know, how can we keep off invasion by armies? He said, "If you remain poor, and no one of you desires to be more important than the other."
Yeah, good luck with that with human nature though.
Alexander, the son of Eurycrates, when someone inquired why the Spartans did not amass money in the public treasury, so that those made guardians of it may not become corrupt.
Fair enough. That's good.
As he permitted citizens to only engage in that kind of athletic contest in which the arm is not held up, someone inquired what was the reason. He replied, "So that no one of the citizens shall get the habit of crying quits in the midst of hard struggle." In answer to a man who raised
Victory or death. It's actually a line from Warcraft, I believe.
the question how anyone could possibly rule in safety without the protection of a bodyguard, Agesilaus said, "If one rules his subjects as fathers rule their sons."
Again, takes one corrupt politician, right?
When his brother said to Teleclus that the citizens did not comport themselves towards himself as they did towards the king, although they were of the same family, but with much less consideration, he said, "The reason is, you do not know how to submit to injustice, and I do."
Holy shit.
When one of the elderly men said to Aegeus in his old age, inasmuch as he saw the good old customs falling into desuetude and other mischievous practices creeping in, that for this reason everything was getting to be topsy-turvy in Sparta, Aegeus said humorously, "Things are then but following a logical course if that is what is happening. For when I was a boy, I used to hear from my father that everything was topsy-turvy among them. And my father said that when he was a boy, his father had said this to him. So nobody ought to be surprised if conditions later are worse than those earlier, but rather wonder if they grow better, or remain approximately the same."
That is true though. It's just different. Same, but different, but still same. That's interesting. It's pretty interesting philosophy. I do like this video. I would say some of them still fit for today, for sure. Orion philosophy, yeah. Also, I like philosophy stuff. Some are not, I would say. Some are like the whole no, like the no fear stuff, the why is no one guarding the treasury because the guards might become corrupt, stuff like that. When the ruler treats his subjects like fathers treat their sons, it's like tough love basically back in those days. Shit like that. Like, yeah, those, I feel like those would be great. But again, the problem with that, like that one specifically with the government, first of all, it's impossible to treat all your subjects the same when you have that many people. In like village and stuff like that, like when you actually see your population like on a regular basis and not like you live in a place like, let's say, take our amazing Prime Minister Justin Trudeau. Dude, he never meets his fucking people. He meets certain groups, yeah, but he never like meets the common person, really. He doesn't like, and the common person also doesn't like him. Like, he's so far removed from like the actual population that, and again, I can't even blame for that because like, bro, like we're all very scared. There's a lot of us, right? It's like he's not gonna be connected. If you rule over a village, you rule over a city, a kingdom of like only a few thousand people, yeah, you can probably easily get to know everyone, right? But you're not gonna get to know everyone, or like even remotely everyone, or like even like 1% of everyone, when you live in a country with millions of people, right? So it's just not gonna happen. But on that, like a lot of the philosophies are really cool here. Spartan opens up his lunchbox and the note inside says, "Come back with your shield or come back on it. Love, Mom." Oh, that's the best comment. That is the best comment. Jesus Christ. I think men are the prize. Anyways, yeah, that's the video. That's actually pretty nice. I'll probably look for more videos from this guy. I love certain philosophies, especially when it comes to like men and life and death. Those are probably like my favorite philosophies. But yeah. Anyways, yeah. Like and subscribe. Check out Orion Philosophy. Pretty cool. I hope he has, like, I'm assuming he has more philosophy stuff, quotes and shit like that, but like, I hope they're like as good as this one. Anyways, thanks for watching and I'll see you in the next one.